Jason Tatum is officially back in headlines, and not just for his usual on-court dominance, but because, against all odds, he might actually play this season. After suffering what was thought to be a season-ending Achilles injury just 5 months ago, Tatum is already out here doing things that don't make sense to the human eye. A video dropped recently showing him throwing down a standing dunk. No running start, just pure power and bounce. And right after the dunk, the man casually says, "I did that like a month ago." That's not just impressive. That's borderline insane. Let's put this into context. Achilles injuries, historically, are career-altering. We used to seeing players take a full year, sometimes more, to come back, and even then, they don't always return to form. It's a long, brutal rehab process. But here's Tatum, not even 6 months removed from surgery, jumping off 2 feet and flushing it with authority. It's the kind of thing that makes you do a double take. It's exciting, of course, especially if you're a Celtics fan, but it also makes you wonder, is this too much, too soon? Now, to be clear, Tatum isn't just out here freelancing. According to a sports medicine doctor who weighed in on the viral video, what he's doing falls within the scope of current rehab protocols. A double-leg vertical jump like that? Apparently, it's not unheard of 5 months post-surgery, assuming everything is going smoothly. But even so, this isn't your average athlete. This is a guy playing at the highest level of professional basketball, with elite expectations and a franchise potentially hanging in the balance. There's a difference between being medically cleared for physical activity and being game-ready for NBA basketball. What's even more wild is that Tatum isn't keeping any of this close to the chest. He reportedly told the Celtics that he plans on playing this season. Not he's hoping to. Not he's staying optimistic. He plans on playing. That kind of confidence is rare. We're used to players being vague, cautious, careful not to promise too much. But Tatum's just putting it out there. It's bold. It's risky. And honestly, it's kind of refreshing. And yet, it brings up the question, should he? Like, really, should he? Even if he feels great right now, we're still talking about a catastrophic injury. What happens if he comes back too soon and tweaks something? Or worse, that's the part that's scary. The Celtics are in a weird spot this season. If they're fighting for a mid-tier playoff seed, maybe there's an argument to bringing him back, getting him in rhythm, letting him shake off the rust. But if they're out of contention or stuck in that play-in purgatory, is it worth it? There are 2 schools of thought here. One side says bring him back slowly, 20 to 25 minutes a night, let him get a feel for the game again without putting too much strain on his body. Ease him in. Let him recalibrate. It's not about chasing a title this year. It's about making sure he knows where he stands physically heading into the summer. That makes sense. The other side, they're saying if he's not 100% ready to go, not full throttle, 30-plus minutes a game, and all systems green, then sit him. Let the young guys develop, protect your franchise player, and make next season the real comeback story. Honestly, both perspectives are valid. It all comes down to what the team doctors say, what Tatum's body tells him, and what the Celtics season looks like by the time he's ready. But the fact that this is even a conversation just 5 months after the injury is unreal. Nobody expected this. I mean, let's not forget, when this happened, everyone, including diehard Celtics fans, assumed he was done for the year. Even the most optimistic predictions had him possibly returning for training camp next year. But here we are in October, talking about a possible return before the All-Star break. And you have to give credit where it's due. Tatum's work ethic, his discipline, his drive, it's all on display. This isn't someone content to sit back and ride out the rehab timeline. This is someone who's built different. From day one, his goal has been to get back on the court as soon as humanly possible. It's inspiring. And sure, maybe a little reckless. But that's what makes the great ones great. They push boundaries. They test limits. The Celtics, though, they've got a decision to make. Do they protect their star at all costs? Or do they trust him, trust his judgment, his body, his doctors, and let him suit up when the time is right? It's a delicate balance. This isn't just about this season. It's about the next 5, the next 10. You don't want to risk his future for the sake of a mediocre playoff run. But if he's truly ready, like truly ready, then maybe the risk isn't as big as it seems. From a fan's perspective, This just adds a whole new layer of drama to the first half of the season. You're already watching to see how the team performs, what the young guys can do, whether they can stay in the mix. But now, in the back of your mind, there's that thought. What if Tatum really does come back? What if sometime in January or February, the crowd goes wild, the lights dim, the intro music hits, and boom, he's back? That would be one of the most electric moments in recent Celtics history. You can already picture it. And it's not just Celtics fans watching this. The whole league's paying attention. Because if Tatum pulls this off, comes back from a torn Achilles in record time, and looks even 80% like his old self, that's going to shake things up. It redefines the recovery timeline. It forces other teams and players to reconsider what's possible. It raises the bar. But again, it all hinges on one thing: how he looks when the time comes. If he's moving well, if he's confident in his body, if the doctors are greenlighting it, then great. But the minute there's hesitation, the minute there's doubt, you've got to pause. You've got to think long-term. What's also interesting is how vocal Tatum's been. Most players in his position would play it close to the vest. They'd give vague updates, drop the occasional Instagram workout video, and let the speculation do the rest. But Tatum? He's telling people straight up, I'm playing this year. It's bold, maybe even risky from a PR standpoint, but it also shows you where his head is at. He's not here to sit and wait. He wants to be on the floor. It's also worth noting that not everyone agrees on the best path forward. Some analysts and insiders have pushed back on the idea of an early return, saying that unless the team is in legitimate contention, it's not worth a gamble. Others argue the opposite, that if he's healthy, even limited minutes can help shake the rust off, get his confidence back, and set him up for a big leap next season. Even within the fan base, there's division. Some fans are all in, ready to see Tatum back in green as soon as possible. Others are cautious, worried that one wrong move could set everything back. And honestly, both reactions are understandable. When you got a player of this caliber, every decision carries weight. Every move has consequences. But here's what's undeniable. Jason Tatum is already rewriting the narrative. He's not waiting for next season. He's pushing for now. And whether or not he steps on the court this year, that mindset alone says everything about who he is as a competitor. The guy just wants a hoop. Plain and simple. And let's be real. This wouldn't even be a story if he hadn't already proven how durable and consistent he's been throughout his career. He's played through pain, logged heavy minutes, and always showed up when it matters. So when someone like that says he wants back in, you listen. You take it seriously. As we shift from the Tatum story, there's another layer to this Celtics season that needs some spotlight, and it's coming straight from the league itself. The annual NBA GM survey dropped recently, and let's just say, the love for Boston? It's barely there. According to general managers across the league, the Celtics are projected to finish 8th in the Eastern Conference standings. 8th. Not 3rd, not 5th, 8th. Behind teams like Cleveland, New York, Orlando, Atlanta, and even Detroit. Detroit. Look, I get it. Everyone loves a young, scrappy underdog, and the East is definitely getting deeper. But putting Boston in the back half of the playoff bracket, that feels like either wild disrespect or a massive underestimation of this roster. And it's not just the standings prediction. The disrespect spills over into the individual categories too. In the MVP conversation, not a single Celtics player received a vote. Not Tatum, not Brown, nobody. The top picks were Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and even Wembanyama got some love. Meanwhile, Boston stars were nowhere to be found. Sure, that might have something to do with Tatum's injury, and maybe the voters didn't want to bet on someone with an uncertain timeline. But even so, you'd think Jaylen Brown, fresh off another All-NBA level season, would at least get a mention. Not even a whisper. The only real individual recognition came in the small forward category, and even that felt backhanded. The GMs ranked Luka Doncic as the best small forward in the league. Now, this is where things get ridiculous. Luka is a guard. We all know this. He plays like a guard, handles like a guard, leads the offense like a guard. But because he's tall, we're calling him a small forward? That's lazy. That's careless. And it messes with the credibility of the entire list. Because if you take Luka out, guess who becomes number one? Jason Tatum. And rightfully so. Tatum has consistently performed at an elite level, plays both ends of the floor, and leads a contending team. But even in the one category where he could shine, the logic just gets fuzzy. Jaylen Brown did get some votes in the small forward category, which is a nice little nod, but it still feels like scraps compared to the recognition other teams and players are getting. Milwaukee, for example, is getting top 5 predictions. Philly's still pulling votes. Atlanta, who had a chaotic offseason, is getting more praise than Boston. The same Atlanta team that hasn't done anything meaningful in the playoffs since that fluky conference finals run. What's really baffling, though, is that these GMs also ranked Joe Mazzulla, the Celtics head coach, as one of the best motivators of people in the league. He tied with Steve Kerr for third, behind Eric Spoelstra and Ime Udoka. So, let's get this straight. You think the coach is elite, but the team is middle of the pack? That doesn't add up. If you believe in Mazzulla's leadership and ability to maximize his squad, then why rank Boston so low? Either the coaching matters or it doesn't. You can't have it both ways. And then there's the most surprising offseason move section. One of the top answers? Celtics breaking up their core. Really? That was surprising? People saw this coming months ago. There was no way Boston could financially keep everyone together, especially with Tatum's max extension looming. The writing was on the wall. This wasn't a shocking twist. It was a necessary evolution. Yet the GMs are acting like the Celtics blew up a dynasty. The only surprise here should be how slow some of these front offices are to understand roster management in the modern NBA. Now, to be fair, not everything in the survey was complete nonsense. Some of the predictions make sense. Oklahoma City getting high marks as a potential 2026 champion, for example. They've got the young core, the draft capital, the momentum. But when it comes to the Celtics, it's like the league has collective amnesia. They've forgotten what this team has done over the past few years. The deep playoff runs, the consistent top 5 finishes in the East, the defensive identity, the culture. All of it seems to be ignored because of one injury and a few offseason tweaks. And maybe, in some twisted way, that's exactly what the Celtics need. Let them sleep. Let the league write them off. Let the GMs build up the Cavaliers and the Magic and all these up-and-coming squads, while Boston quietly goes about its business. Because if this roster, even without Tatum for a stretch, finds its rhythm early, these predictions are going to age like milk. And that brings us to the actual basketball. The preseason is in full swing, and the Celtics are already getting reps in, with a few players starting to stand out. Baylor Shyman, for example, came into the spotlight during the first preseason game, but not for the right reasons. He shot a miserable 23% from the field, and it wasn't just bad luck. His mechanics looked rushed, he wasn't in rhythm, and the moment looked a little too big for him. That's not what you want to see from a guy trying to lock down a rotation spot in year 2. What makes things trickier for Shyman is the competition around him. The Celtics have a logjam of young wings, all fighting for minutes. Josh Minott is bringing serious energy on the defensive end. Jordan Walsh has been flashing improvements in his decision-making, and even Hugo Gonzalez has shown glimpses of promise. With a group like that pushing hard, a cold shooting night isn't just one of those games. It's a missed opportunity. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Shockwaves are rippling through the NBA universe tonight, as whispers of a major update on Jason Tatum's injury situation have ignited a frenzy among fans and analysts alike. The Celtics superstar, who has been dealing with a nagging Achilles issue, reportedly received a medical update suggesting he is 100%, a revelation that has sent social media into overdrive and left betting lines and fantasy basketball boards trembling. Sources close to the team, who spoke under the condition of anonymity, claim that the Celtics medical staff has been closely monitoring Tatum's recovery, and the latest assessment indicates he has regained full strength and mobility. While no official statement has been released, insiders suggest that this development could mean the all-star forward is ready to return to action sooner than anyone anticipated, potentially reshaping the landscape of the Eastern Conference. Fans have been vocal in online forums, with some expressing outright disbelief, while others are jubilant at the mere prospect of seeing Tatum back at full speed. "If this is true, the Celtics just got a whole new lease on life," wrote one fan on Twitter. Another noted, "Tatum 100%? This changes everything. Every matchup now has to be reconsidered." The rumor alone has already sent merchandise sales soaring, with jerseys and memorabilia flying off shelves as supporters anticipate his triumphant return. Analysts, meanwhile, are weighing the implications. Tatum's presence at full strength could elevate Boston from playoff hopefuls to championship contenders overnight. But there's caution in the air. Achilles injuries are notoriously unpredictable, and while optimism is running high, teams and fans alike will be watching closely for any signs of setback. Regardless of the veracity of the report, one thing is clear: the NBA community is buzzing. The Celtics faithful are imagining high-flying dunks, clutch threes, and leadership that could carry them through the toughest of playoff battles. Whether this is wishful thinking or a genuine medical breakthrough, the rumor alone has created a storm of anticipation that shows no signs of dying down. Stay tuned, because if Tatum really is back to 100%, the Eastern Conference might just be in for the shock of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.